Most Def Podcast, everybody. We are back. The holidays were crazy, but we're back on schedule now. Episode 16, and today we got our good friend Brian Saenz.
What's happening?
He is the actor extraordinaire. Brian is making moves, making waves, making it happen, making babies. Wait, no. Is he?
The allegations.
Brian, what are you working on right now?
Well, first of all, let me shout out Most Def, okay? Because you guys are killing it, okay? I see you guys boots on the grounds, doing it, like, everywhere I go. Oh, like, I ran into you guys at Mentone. Like, you guys are really out there doing your thing. So first foremost, thank you for having me, and shout out Most Def, because you guys are pushing the thing, you know what I'm saying? You guys are doing it.
Well, we love you, Brian. We're glad to have you. Thank you for the love.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something you have to plug that you've got.
Oh my goodness,
going on.
You figured me out. You saw what I was. Yeah. So well, hello. My name is Brian Saenz. I'm an actor, as he said, extraordinaire.
If you couldn't tell.
And I have a show coming up.
Woo! Tell us all about it.
What?
This is it's a time period piece, 1943. I like old, like, vintagey stuff, I like doing it, like that's the fun thing about acting, right? Is you get to, like, travel and go back in time.
Or out of space, too.
Oh yeah, or go, like, to space and all that stuff, do the whole Viking thing and all that.
When's it playing?
So it's playing all this month of January, every weekend of this month. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday 8 p.m., Saturday 8 p.m., and then Sunday's the 2 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's over there at the Frida Kahlo Theater.
At the Frida Kahlo Theater, which is located in
downtown, near downtown LA kind of area. Yeah, right around there.
All right.
Just go to my Instagram or hit the links and all that stuff. And
star of stage and screen.
Yes. I mean, that's the thing about. Like, yes, I like my screen time, but it's also like the stage, man. That's kind of where I started.
The craft of the theater.
Yes, it's like I always, it's funny. I always say this analogy, like, because I know a lot of people watch anime, right? You watch anime, right?
Yeah.
I always say theater is kind of like Dragon Ball Z when they go into the time chamber.
No, the hyperbolic time chamber. Yes.
They go in there and they like come out and they're like ready for anything and they can like snap it on right away. So that's what kind of theater is for me. You go in there and like, you're in the trenches, doing the grind, doing the work. And then once you step out and you're on camera and you're in front of all these people, it's like, oh, okay, I can snap it on. Like, and
we were talking about that a lot with Danny in the episode he was in. And you and Danny came up together.
Yes.
Acting school and all that.
Yes, I've known Danny for a long time now. I mean,
and you've been together on a lot of projects too.
Yeah. I've helped him out with his first project, Lost Empire, and then this one that he's working on now that we're finishing up, The Offspring. I've been the editor. That's another thing I've kind of been diving into a little bit, editing. Just trying to get as much my hand in everything. Just trying to.
So when we did our like real interview thing too, we talked about how you've been branching out a lot and that you're maximizing your value on everything you do. Like, it's like I'm not just an actor. Like I can edit, I can do whatever music. You've scored a couple of projects now too.
Yes.
The Offspring. I know you contributed.
Wait, I didn't know you did music too.
Oh, you didn't know?
No, tell us more.
Cindy Ball,
I know. I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm getting to know you right now. Okay.
Very like simple. Like I'm not like a freaking know how to play instruments, stuff like that. Like I keep it like I scored. The main one I scored was "Here's to You," which was Kimberly's project.
Yes.
And I just did like a basic, simple like jazz. Bass, snare,
Jazz, the simplest genre.
And I kept it very like bare bones, and but I still added all those elements of like character. This character has this sound. This one has the muted trumpet.
Yeah.
This one has little things like that, and
it's a good thing to do to have assign a character an instrument. Like
yes. Yeah.
So you can have that instrument do other things or play differently when it's being put next to another character and all that.
Exactly. So like, in that film, I had, like the muted trumpet for this specific character, and my character has kind of like this little drum snare or this little riff on the cymbals, and
brushes.
Yes. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not like super like, but I know what like sounds good, what sounds right. Like, okay, I know I need like a.
You got a good ear.
Yeah, like I know I need this kind of vibe, and like,
That's
okay, what
need.
do I need? And
you need the boots and cats. Boots and cats.
Yeah. And so I'll go online. I'll find like I'll find like just like instruments or whatever. I'll find like the bare bone loops. Like obviously I don't know how to play a muted trumpet, right? Like I'm not gonna know how to play like a riff. Yeah. But I'll find just like the stem of that little thing, and I'll blend it in with my underneath my basic. Bass and snare.
Are you using like a MIDI keyboard to kind of tap stuff out too, or are you just finding kind of loops or samples?
Yeah, so I'll go like on a website. I'll find just like I'll look up jazz instruments, and I'll just find like a little stem of just like a muted trumpet, and and then I'll just layer that, right, and I'll kind of remix it and put this kick with this thing and just put it all together. So, it's kind of like, I guess, sampling, like in a way, right? Because you're taking these things and you're just kind of putting them all in one thing. Obviously, if I had like a live orchestra in front of me, or like, which I heard that Zach guy, he does music, right?
Well, he does music. Zach Gutierrez. Yeah, he does music.
I saw that podcast. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. There's people out here that I could maybe like, like reach out to and like, hey, like, do you know?
Yeah, he has a whole like big band. It's like 10 people. They do shows all the time.
I want to be the guy. Hey, what's up, Zach?
Yeah, like his band No Jack is like soul, R&B, like a lot of old Motown hits, or like Earth, Wind and Fire type stuff with the whole brass section, all that. Yeah. And then his brother Miles is at UC Irvine, I think, and doing like a composition degree there, and I think he has access to some big orchestra type recording stuff too from that. So.
All the talent that we have out here, and we just like, it's funny, right? That's the whole thing with us as the deaf. We're like trying to bring everybody together because we run in the same circle sometimes, or like, it's just hard to like know everybody sometimes.
But see,
right?
I want to know that if you guys hadn't like showcased that. I'm like, oh wait, there is a guy here that does that. So it's like, and obviously you too, right? I know you're a synth guy, so like, and I know I love.
I do it all.
And that's one thing I love too, is like synthesis. And we've talked about it before, but
well, I got to get you some time to just go and play around with the synths downstairs.
Dude, I'm telling you, like when I walked into your room or in that studio, I was like, I was like, I don't know how to play this stuff or press it, but like I'm sure like I might be able to like figure it out if I had somebody, like.
Well, the great thing about synthesizers is you just press one key and it sounds like. Yeah, like getting your hair blown back, or like the old Maxell tape ad of the guy in the chair with the sound blasting everything back. Like,
exactly,
it definitely gives you that feeling. So
you don't need to be complex with it, right? It's like you just need like simple, four notes.
My favorites are like John Carpenter and Vangelis and Tangerine Dream, and it's like all that stuff is like very simple melodies, like Chariots of Fire, dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Or
the thing where it's like don don, don don, and it's just like, dude, that's all you needed. Like,
and that's Ennio Morricone who did that score.
He scored that one.
Yeah,
okay.
It was Carpenter had already like done a bunch of movies and he had scored everything himself, and then Universal told him like, you can direct it, you can do this, but we want this guy to do the score, and he was like, fine, whatever.
Oh, I did not. I thought it was.
And he'll tell this story of like going to Italy to talk to Morricone, and it's like he didn't speak English and Carpenter didn't speak Italian, but they kind of managed to have some facsimile of a conversation. And it's like the only note that Carpenter gave him was just like less notes, fewer notes, which totally comes out in the thing. It's like dun dun.
Yeah. Yeah, and it starts to raise and all. Yeah.
Yeah. So and like because Morricone has done some of my favorite scores, like obviously everybody knows The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah. Those guitars, when they're like, it's like coming up.
Dum ding, dum ding.
Yeah.
And two, he's done a song called La Arena, which Tarantino used in Kill Bill when the bride is doing the 1-inch punch to get out of the coffin.
Yeah.
Like he used the Morricone song for that. Or
and he was in the Hateful Eight too, right? He did that.
He used
that part where
old music of Morricone's. Like he repurposed old music for that score. Because I think Morricone was he wasn't dead yet, but I don't think he was composing new stuff at the time.
Right.
But there might have been like a few new pieces or something. But it's like kind of a mishmash, I think, is what happened.
But that's like one of the shots that sticks in my head. You know, the horses, they're running in slow motion and you hear that music. Yeah. And it's like, you know, it's just so powerful what music and visuals can do. So it's like, I don't know. I've always loved, you know.
When I started to get into scoring, I realized, like, you know, a lot of people's favorite music comes from films.
Exactly.
Like Kenny Loggins wouldn't really have had the career he had if he hadn't done Footloose and Top Gun. Right. That kind of stuff. Like just those two movies.
Or like the Bee Gees with like Saturday Night Fever. You know,
yeah.
They did, like,
it was like their biggest album.
Right.
You know? Or like there's The Bodyguard. Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
That's like the highest selling soundtrack of all time. And that's Whitney's biggest hit.
I have not seen The Bodyguard. I'm sorry.
It's a good movie. Yeah. And that soundtrack is so big that even other people who are on it that weren't really big acts have been able to just live off of the residuals of that album. Like there's the band Seduction that Michelle Visage from RuPaul's Drag Race. Like she was in this girl band Seduction. And they were never that big. Like she's made more money from RuPaul than she has from music, but she was able to live for 20 years off of residuals from the Bodyguard soundtrack.
Dang.
Yeah. So or like Curtis Mayfield's. Have you ever heard of Superfly? Have you ever heard of that movie?
I think so. That's like an early 2000s?
It's like a 70s.
Oh no,
movie. It's like blaxploitation. Oh. That's famous because it's the only, I think, as of now, the only movie where the soundtrack made more money than the movie did.
Wow.
And it's like if you ever listen to Curtis Mayfield, like he's one of the greats of like 70s soul type stuff. Like, like did you ever listen to Silk Sonic, like Bruno Mars? And that was like the vibe they went for. Was like we're gonna make like a Curtis Mayfield album, basically.
Yeah. No, I love all that. I love like Quincy Jones, like you know, like. The Dude, you know, like things like that. Like that. Once I found that album, I was like, whoa, like I like this music, you know. So it's, now it's coming back to me. That Superfly movie, yes, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting how music can and how it's been a part of, you know, films and like you said, even that film.
It elevates the whole thing, you know. Yeah. It definitely makes a big difference.
I was gonna ask you too, so let me bring it back to acting because acting is your main thing. Yeah. When did you start acting? How old are you right now? I forget.
How old am I? I am 18 years old. I'm just kidding.
I was like, damn. Okay.
Keep going on that question. I'm gonna switch these batteries.
Yeah, go ahead. I've been acting since high school. I started in high school just doing theater. Then from there, kind of started going into the community a little bit. Started going to Marietta out there, and that's where I found my teacher, my coach. And I trained with him for 4 years. And I didn't really start coming out to LA till I had like a grounding of like what, you know, a toolkit of stuff to do.
Sure.
So I studied with him for 4 years in the trenches, and then now these past like 3 or 4 years, I've kind of been more, you know, getting into like working in LA and stuff like that, and putting myself out there a little.
Well, this is what I admire a lot about you is that you've been able to be in both worlds at the same time. Like you've worked a lot out here, but you're still getting work. Like you're in demand, or you're hitting the pavement, and you're nailing auditions, and your reel is so strong. You know?
Yeah, that's one thing I've been working on these past year or two is getting a really strong reel. You know, to potentially get, and that's one thing I'm focusing on this year is trying to get like, you know, representation, because I feel like I've started, but I haven't really started. You know, like everything I've been getting and doing has kind of just been through word of mouth or just like networking or, you know, snowballing from you do this project to this project. But I haven't really been auditioning so much, like, you know, like get in front of a camera, self-tape kind of thing. I've done it a few times, but yeah, like once I get that, then it's like, okay, now it's like the ball's really rolling.
Well, I think too, the word of mouth is very important because people know like, hey, he's a good actor. and he's easy to get along with, and he doesn't bring a weird fucked up vibe to the set. Like,
Yeah.
he's happy to be there. He's there to lend a hand if you need it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, like, that's why you're in demand, you know? Like, and it's like, hey, you're always like, if I could, can I help you tear down? Can I help you edit? Can I do this for you? Can I? Yeah.
It's building a reputation, right? Like, you know, like, okay, this guy was going to show up on time, do the work, and he's going to give it his all. You know, like, that's the main thing.
Right.
Like, I want to, like, put out to everybody, like, okay, I'm going to show up and I'm going to give you ideas. I'm not just going to come with nothing. Like, I'm going to think about it and, you know.
Be prepared.
Be prepared. Yes. Do my homework, study, you know, think of all the training and all that stuff and, you know, put that into everything that I do. But
I'm trying to think, like, because we've like been in each other's circle for a long time, but I think the only thing we've worked together on was Blood Street.
No, El Esqueleto. What do you mean?
Oh, you're right. Well, I didn't really do much. I didn't really do much on that one. So.
Yeah, we were like the forefront, like running
I was
it.
just BTS.
Yeah.
well, I had
you
my
know.
Spanish counselor.
Oh, hey. Have you been working on caricatura?
Oh yeah, caricatura.
That's okay.
Caricatura. What did we say? We like changed it to like Looney Tunes. or something.
Looney Tunes. Yeah.
The pinche Looney Tunes. Man.
Yeah. Like my Spanish is good, but it's not like perfect, you know.
No, it's
like,
okay. Yeah, you're fine.
Like, I am American.
Yeah, you're Chicano, man. That's the struggle of being a Chicano, right?
But yeah, it was mainly Blood Street and El Esqueleto, and I think you were doing sound on Blood, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like doing boom op stuff that
Yeah.
day because Miguel wasn't available, so I just was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Man,
And
that
so
was a
I've
while
done it
ago.
a handful of times, but you know, I'm not as good as Miguel, who actually does it all the time. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny, but it's like, okay, so all right, that means we got to get on something.
Yes, it's in the future. Let's speak it into the air.
Well, me and Cindy been tapped to produce a couple of things, so I think we got something in mind for you. So
Yeah.
stay tuned on
Bang
that,
my
everybody.
line. I'm gonna use Danny's catcher. Bang my line.
He doesn't want to use it, so go ahead.
I'm gonna steal it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna yeah, definitely.
All right, so you've definitely got this stage production going on. You've got plenty of film stuff going on.
Yeah.
You're working. Kimberly's got some new projects that you're working with too. So it's a lot of exciting things happening right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, too, we just keep running into each other at festivals and events and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing is like, yeah, we hit the pavement, we show up to a lot of places, but you're the one who's always at the stuff we're at too.
I try to be. I try to, like, even if I'm not in the festival, like I still try to show up and just see what's going on, in the scene, like what's the quality of everything, and it's been really cool to see the progression as well. You know, like from last year to this year, like the films that are being in these festivals, they're like getting better and improving. So I'm like, okay, we're onto something here. We're getting better.
It's definitely true. Like even with like the 48, like just noting because we've here in the IE, like me and Cindy have been to the last like 3 or 4 48s, and it's like this one was the strongest one. Like they've started off being like, oh man, these are hard to watch, and then this year's like, damn, that one was pretty good. That one was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the thing is that it's all the ecosystem is that's the thing. That's what we've like been changing our line, our marketing line to is like, no, we're here to develop the ecosystem of independent film in the Inland Park, because it's like, well, this guy can do this and he's in Temecula, and this guy can do that and he's in Ontario, and this guy can do that, he's in Corona, and it's like they wouldn't have known about each other if it wasn't for someone trying to just like, let's get everybody together kind of thing. Yeah.
And I think it's also important to keep in mind too, like, yes, we're in the IE and you know, we're trying to like build this thing up, but you know, because sometimes I'll hear like, oh no, we got to keep it in the IE, we got to do everything in the IE. You know, it's like, no, like, let's try to bridge. You know,
Expand
we have our
network.
neighbors are literally like the capital of
of entertainment.
of entertainment business. So it's like that's why I always try to put one foot in each. You know, like I do stuff in LA.
Yeah, you don't have to choose. You don't have to choose. You don't have to be like either or. It's like, no, you can do both.
Yes, do
you
both.
Know? Be greedy.
You know,
I love it.
Now people are like starting to come over here. Like we're having cast and crew come over here. So it's like, you know.
I think too is that the way it's gone over the last couple of years, that people would kind of like all be absorbed into a group and they'd be working together, and there was definitely like a lot of everybody's like, I'm with my people, and it's all started to be a little bit loosened up where everybody's like no, I'll work with you, no, I'll work with you. And that's one thing that you and Danny have done super well, is that you work with everybody. Like you're always there for everybody's things.
Yeah. No, it's important. It's important to, like you said, just branch out and work with everybody that you can. And so it's very.
Well, you've also been working a lot with Anna, right?
Anna shout out Anna.
Yeah.
Hey,
wait,
Anna.
This is my camera. Well, I'm over here looking at my.
No, that's it. Like, okay, this one's your camera right here.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have been looking at my camera.
You're good. That one's Casey's, and this one's like both of you guys.
Yeah. Oh, okay, this is the master. This is the white shot. Okay, single. All right.
It's okay. We can edit that.
How are my levels? Do you have a limiter, compressor, my EQ? Because I yell sometimes.
You're good.
Okay. I think you need to bump in about 18K.
Yeah.
You need to refine
Minus
that
2 decibels.
Yeah.
No, shout out to Anna. Yeah, I've been working with her. She's been really pushing me out of, because I kind of started off doing like a lot of comedy light stuff, especially in my high school days. And then once I got with my teacher, I kind of got like a little bit more serious, and I kind of lost it a little bit. That child, like, like playing, and she's been bringing that back. She's giving me some great roles to just, hey, go for it, do it. Like, don't worry about being small. Like, just have fun and be funny, and Yeah. So it's and it's worked out. We screened Practicing Patience at AYA. At the shout out AYA Festival. It was a great festival, great event. Woo! Applause. We're moving and grooving.
Speaking of festivals too, is that, talking about just the value of kind of showing up, because you never know who's going to be there, or who might be doing a workshop or a speech or something there, or even it's like what happened with Mentone is like we started talking to the photographer there, the videographer, and it's like, okay, that was a great connection to make. Like, that's kind of the thing, is that's where film people show up,
right?
And you never know who else you're going to meet at those things.
That, and also like workshops and trainings.
Yeah,
that's also been a big part of my branching out, and my network is going to workshops, going out to train and meet other people, meet other actors that are actually working in the business. Shout out LA Directors Lab, because
I was going to ask you about that next, because that seems like I want to get involved with LA Directors Lab.
Yes. I got, once I heard about it, I got involved with it. I've been doing their classes.
Because you and Kim are doing those together a lot, right?
Yeah. I told Kim about it, and I try to tell people, like, hey, you got to come, like, do this and get in not only in the community, but also just practice, right? Because here's the thing: is I trained 4 years in a room, right? And we kind of went over characters and arcs and all that stuff, and found my strengths and weaknesses, and we did it in a small theater setting. But it's one thing to do it there than to then do it in a tornado.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, can you have that same concentration, that same thing, while all this other stuff is going on around you? And it's always fascinating me how, like, when you're on set and everybody's moving, and then it just kind of, and then it just goes, okay, no action.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you're not, there's little things like that where you have to, like, okay, one, not crack under pressure, right? Or like, oh, what's my line or whatever. So it's like, just having that experience of, okay, I can do this, and building the confidence of, like,
Well, it's like your way of getting your reps in as a director is with projects and short films.
Right.
And it's like, it's expensive, it's time consuming, it's hard to get people together on the same day and all that kind of stuff. And that definitely is like, no, here's much more of a controlled environment.
Everything's taken care of for you, like the sound guy, the crew, and all that. You just show up and do your thing,
Well, it's also that you get the experience of directing what other people write, too, right?
Exactly.
Which is really important, because most people at the independent level, it's like, okay, I wrote the script, I have my vision, I'm going to make this happen, I'm going to direct my
people
thing.
get a little too precious, not going to lie.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
yes. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
And this, because really most directors don't write and direct, or they don't have that clout to be able to do that. It's like you're a director for hire, like TV people, right? Like it's very rare on TV for someone to write and direct at the same time.
Yeah.
Or to be a showrunner and do any of those other things too.
Right.
So it's like, like the skill of directing is like being able to just take anything and be able to make it happen, and be able to corral everybody, do all the traffic cop stuff. You hit your line here, you leave here, you do that.
But also work with the actors, because I think that's an important thing to keep in mind, like for directors, is, that connection with the actor, and, how to find things, Because a lot of times, you could get stuck in just like the whole ecosystem of it, right? Like, okay, making sure everything's managing and all that stuff. But like, bottom line is like you have to have that one-to-one with the actor of like, okay, this is what we're going for. You know, what are your ideas? What are my ideas? That's what really elevates, I feel like, a project is when you have that.
Well, yeah, and out here too, I've been on enough shoots or acted in enough things where it's like a director is so caught up in trying to do the logistical stuff too that we haven't done table reads or haven't done rehearsals and stuff like that. And that's up to some people. Some people do that less than others, but I think for your actors, it's like you have to let them bite into it, you know, and play off each other. Because it's one thing to just read the script 250 times like Robert Duvall would do or something like that. Yeah. And that's just to get you prepared. Right. Like, that can't actually get you to put out as good of a performance. Yeah, I always whenever I always try to sit down with the person, but like just one-on-one, like, hey, let's go catch like a coffee or like, you know, eat some lunch. Because it's very important. You know, obviously rehearsal is, you know, or readings and stuff like that. But I always at least try to have a one-on-one. That's what I tell actors. Like, if you're gonna be on a project, sit down, you have time. If you really care about this project and you want it to be good, you have time to have like an hour lunch or 2-hour lunch with your actor to discuss the character and things like that. So it's smart of you to have the initiative to be like, hey, outside of anybody else on the production telling us what to do, why don't you and I get together and it's like, what's your idea? Okay, my idea was this. Yeah. Maybe that's not as compatible. Maybe we just pivot and try to change it to this or something. Yeah. Or whatever the case may be.
And I mean, I was going to say, it's so important, I think, to do that in kind of all departments, you know what I mean? Because like, even for me, I'm like reflecting back on my jobs as like producer and stuff like that. And I'm just like, you know what? I really had to like sit down with like the cinematographer just separately and then the director just separately and just like not talking about like the project per se, but just talking about like, hey, like, what's your style of working? Like, what bothers you? Do you feel like would it be beneficial for you to like, what overstimulates you, or like, you know, what happens in those situations and how can I help you if that happens, right? Yeah. Because I feel like we need always more communication is the thing, right?
Yeah. No, that's very true. I mean, the old cliche like LA line is like, well, let's do lunch. But it's like, actually, that's very true. I got to be having lunch with somebody. Yeah. It's so important. You need some kind of uninterrupted time.
Yeah. And especially when it's like new people that like you know, because it's always a lot of introducing the new people, just working with new people. And like when you're like, everyone's so excited about making the project, but we don't take the extra time to like, oh, hey, like, let's get to know each other a little bit. Like, yeah, exactly. You're not just like work. Yeah.
Especially if I'm working with somebody new that I haven't like worked with or really had a chance to like know. I always like in that meeting, I just kind of like just talk about anything besides the project. You know, hey, what are some of your favorite films? You know, just, you know, chit chatting, right? Like not just regular stuff, and then get into like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. But yeah, like you're saying, it's very important to have just a sit down with, and as a director, you're having to sit down with everybody, right? Because you have to get that person's vision, this person's vision, or this person's ideas, and like, you know, put it all into one little.
I feel like the one person that doesn't get invited to lunch is the writer. Oh, I don't want to hear it. They're like, whatever. Like, no, I know what I'm going to do with your thing. I don't want to hear it. So let's pivot a little bit. What have you been watching lately?
What have I been watching lately? I just saw Marty Supreme.
Okay, we're gonna go see that tonight. So,
okay, yeah.
Tell me all about it, because I.
No spoilers though.
No, it was cool. You know the whole the Safdie brothers, right?
Yes.
You know, like, and how they kind of did their own separate thing this year. I must say I like Smashing Machine better. Have you seen Smashing Machine?
No, but I love MMA and I know all about Mark Kerr and all that stuff.
Smashing Machine is my. Like, it was my top film of
that was your film of the year?
Yeah, I think that was my film of the year.
All right, cool.
It's been a while since I've gone to the movies and really been immersed, and like there's a scene in that film where I'm just like it's been a while. Like, I'm not a very audible guy in theaters. Like, I like to go alone and just be in my little thing and just, you know, watch it. But when I was seeing this film, I literally got. I did like, and I was like, wait a minute.
Very audible.
I was like, wait a minute. It's been a while since like a director or like a film has gotten
that to you.
Done a reaction to it. Like,
that's exciting.
Yeah. So I was like, I left the theater, and then the way he just kind of like did the whole MMA, like, it was about MMA, but then again, it
was more about the the person's story, the guy's story. Yeah.
And they kind of like did it untraditionally, and that's what they did with Marty Supreme as well. You know, they're kind of like breaking the rules as far as like, you know, the traditional. Oh, then there's like a final battle, or there's a final, you know, match or something. Yeah. But yeah, that I've been watching.
Well, they've made very unique films together because like Uncut Gems was a big splash, like for an independent film. The score to that film is great too, because that one I was watching a video with their composer, and it's like. Yeah, they bought him a Moog 1, which is like a $16,000 analog polyphonic synthesizer, and it's like the whole score is just done on the one synth. Like,
dude, you're gonna love Marty Supreme.
Okay,
you know, I'm not even gonna spoil it because they use the same composer. I think it's OPM or and Dan something. I'm forgetting his last name.
Well, but I know who you're talking about.
Like they did a whole thing with the score, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but I think you're gonna like Marty Supreme.
I hear that Marty Supreme is more like Good Time or Uncut Gems. It's more in that vein than Smashing Machine was.
Yes.
Where it's like, okay, you see where which brother the style comes from now.
Yes.
Where it's like Benny, he was a little more low key with Smashing Machine, and it was a little more. Well, they throw slow burn around all the time, but it's that it was a little more. Like laid back pacing kind of thing, and that Marty Supreme is just that pressure cooker. Yeah, Uncut Gems. I
feel like Benny, I feel like he works more with the actings and the actors because I've even seen after I watch a movie, I watch all the press, I watch all the interviews, and Benny, what he does is he boom ops in the scene. So he's in there with the actors, like as he's
That's interesting.
So when I heard that, I was like, that's interesting that he's, you know, he kind of like involving himself in there. So when he goes to give him notes, he's like, he's right there with them.
You know what? You know? Like that's an interesting thing as a director, because it's like normally you're just sitting back in the chair, monitor, maybe a script or something. And then it's like, no, slower, more intense, you know. Yeah. That one, he's probably like, okay, I'm not going to talk during takes, like, or I'm going to wait. Yeah. And I'm going to hold on to the thought I have. Yeah. And if it's worth saying, like, I'll wait till in between the take or wait till the cut and be like, okay, that was good, but you know. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, I was very interested about that. I was like, okay, I might be a boom guy. Like, you know.
Well, it's funny because you're doing something that's physically engaging.
Yes.
Holding that thing up, you know.
And you have to be rhythm too, right? Because especially in the scene, you're talking about pacing, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, what's the pacing of this scene? And it's like, okay. So you're very like involved in the music and the rhythm of the scene. Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay.
Well, and then Benny has like made a lot of moves in the acting world too.
Yes.
With because I mean, Good Time was the first time I saw him act. Yeah. Have you seen Good Time?
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah,
it's really good. I love, and it's like such a great Robert Pattinson movie. But
he's on the Christopher Nolan stuff. Like he's in Oppenheimer, and
he's going to play King Agamemnon in the Odyssey coming up next year, which is super exciting for me. And it's like, because he's in the trailer and he's like this much taller than Matt Damon. It's like, I don't know if he's that tall. If they had him on an apple crate or something.
What did you think about that helmet? There was like a whole controversy. It's like, it's not real. It's like, it's a freaking...
It's a movie.
Yeah, it's a movie, and it's based on like a, you know, a theory or, you know, like the whole Odyssey thing.
Okay, coming from, as a guy with a history degree that studied a lot about Alexander and Macedon, the ancient Greeks and stuff like that, it's like you can't really please anybody with Greek armor stuff like that, because it's either really flamboyant, like polished bronze and like super colorful, like eyes and diagrams and stuff all over and huge feathered plumes and stuff all over the place, or you go to the point where it's like, oh well, the Spartans fought the nude. You know, so it's like you have those two sides that you can't meet in the middle on those. Yeah. So I think too is like, well, it's always how do you make it legible for the audience too? Like, who is this Agamemnon guy? Like, oh well, he's wearing this like slate black, like chiseled angular stuff. Like, okay, now I know who he is from seeing that. Whereas if everybody's wearing like this ornate linothorax or something like that, like it's gonna be a whole thing. Like, so well, and it's like, what's the tone he's going for with the Odyssey? Like, if it's too serious and you've got this like really over the top Greek armor,
right,
it's gonna be weird for the audience. They're not gonna understand like what am I supposed to be feeling.
Yeah.
Because look, for me, it's like I would love if they had the guts to go as over the top as the Greeks did. The funny thing about and this is I'm not gonna go too deep into history stuff.
It's all good.
I love
that Greek stuff.
Is that warfare in ancient Greece? And the Trojan War that was ancient for the ancient Greeks.
Right.
That was like 1000 BC. And it's like all the stuff we read from ancient Greece is basically from like 400 to 250 BC.
Yeah.
Thereabouts. So it's for them, like that was centuries ago.
Yeah.
Like that's why it was mythic. And that's why, have you ever read the Odyssey or the Iliad?
I've seen like a summary on YouTube.
I've watched Troy. I've seen Troy.
I've seen parts of Troy and I just looked at like the whole like recap of it on.
Yeah.
on
because it's the first book with a sequel ever. It's the Odyssey is the first sequel ever written.
Oh.
But it's that in those books, the gods are characters that talk to and have impact on things that happen in the play. Like Poseidon in the Odyssey is like, I'm going to fucking wash away your ships and all that. I'm going to wash away the ship of Theseus and all that.
Yeah.
And the Pallas Athena is like blessing people and giving Achilles the shield and all this stuff like that. Like all that stuff is happening. The whole war happens not because of Helen of Troy, but because of the gods bickering with each other. And it's like you can't really. Well, they're not going to have time to deal with the Iliad.
Yeah.
Like it's this. The story is the Odyssey. It's coming home.
Yeah.
And having to go through all this weird stuff throughout the Mediterranean and going to the island of the Lotus Eaters and going across, encountering the sirens and being forced to be tied to the mast and stuff like that. Like,
and that one director, speaking of Greek mythology, what's his name? Who did Blade Runner?
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott. I know he kind of like messes around with those kind of themes and stuff like that. So it's always cool when you see it incorporated into film as well. And that stuff is always, because those are the original stories. So it's like if they've stuck around for a reason, so it's like when you put like your own stories and your own remixes into it, it makes for really...
Well, this is a thing we don't really do in education anymore, is like in the 1800s, you would have to read the classics. You would have to read the Greeks. You would have to read Aristotle, you'd have to read some of this foundational philosophical stuff. Yeah. And of course, everybody would be reading the Bible over and over again all the time. So all this like foundational to Western society type stuff it's not really taught anymore. Like,
right.
I tried to think about when I was in grade school, which was a long time ago and I can't really remember it anymore. But it's all like, no, you read excerpts from like a larger textbook kind of thing. And it's like, oh, here's 10 pages.
Of that whole,
of something, here's an excerpt, and so it all got kind of whittled down a bit. But I was going to go on a rant about social cohesion. Back to Brian, back to films.
I love talking about
But yeah, like myth and all these foundational stories are there in our psyche, whether we know them or not.
Yes.
They're just part of the makeup of things, and the way we expect stories to go, the structures we expect to see, conflict and resolution, all that goes back to the Greeks, Romans, to the biblical era, to like Old Testament stuff and all that, like.
Yeah,
and carries on through like European stuff.
Hey, Ryan, I was gonna ask you too. So you do like acting in the like. Is there certain roles that you won't take, or like where do you like? What do you prefer? Or is there something that you always prefer
Full
over
frontal.
something else?
Anything that I don't, and definitely now, as you go on, especially now, I'm kind of, I'm more, I guess, a little bit selective, right? Like with what I do put my time in, because there's only so much time and energy you can put into certain things, right?
Right.
So now when I get like, or I hear about a project or something, like if the character isn't something that I have a new thing that I've explored or something that I can really connect with, I'll probably just like pass on it, because it's like, so yeah, like for me, if the character, if I know there's something that I can, relate to or has a strong message that I know somebody else will connect with, Those are usually the things I go for. But as far as like, yeah, nose, I mean, obviously, like, well, have I? I've done intimacy stuff. I have, but
there's a line though.
Yes, there's a line, and there's got to be an intimacy coordinator and all that stuff. But so yeah, I've kind of been just dibbling dabbling everywhere. You know, stunts, intimacy, and you know all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm open to.
I was gonna ask you too. Do you have a problem with like getting like typecast or anything like that, or you've been able to kind of get every kind of genre and every kind of.
Yeah, that's one thing I was very aware of, right? Like making sure I don't get like typecasted as like, you know, like a villain or like the whole like cholo thing.
Cholo number 3.
Yeah. Because that was one of my very first films. Is I played a youngster, and I was like, okay, the next thing, I'm gonna make sure they know I could do comedy. They know I could do these other things, these more dramas and all that stuff. So yeah, I think I've done pretty well of you know, showing like range so far with the things that I do.
Yeah.
And yeah, just keeping that variety, right? Like, you know, so no, but as far as being typecasted, no, I don't think. Not yet. I don't want to see.
I mean, at this point, I wish I could get typecast. I don't know what they would typecast me as. But I was thinking of like, you know, Noel G, that actor, Hector.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, do you think that he doesn't like that? Because it's like, hey, I have steady work. Yeah. And I have tons of credits. Yeah. And I may play the same guy and everything, but
it's
I've been able to make a living. I've got my SAG and my insurance and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, nevertheless, I don't want that for you. But, you know, like,
no, yeah.
But it's like, yeah, it makes you wonder, like, how many people that happens to, are they upset by that? Or is that really such a burden? Or
yeah.
I mean, I guess it matters on what typecast you get typecast as. Like, is it something that does get a lot of roles or not? You know?
I think, you know, prime example, you know, Dwayne Johnson in The Smashing Machine, right? He's been kind of typecased as this blockbuster guy.
He's just been playing himself for the last 15 years. Himself. Yeah.
But I think, you know, if you really look for it and you really like, you know, one, put yourself like a risk, right? Like, okay, so it's like he did The Smashing Machine and he's always wanted to do something that was like that. So I think if an actor is feeling typecasted, like, you know, just... nowadays, you can even create your own project. Like, okay, no, I want to do this thing, and I want them to see me like this. Yeah. Which is kind of what, obviously, he's, you know, Dwayne Johnson, he has, like, producers and people that he can just call or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, like, I think as far as that, like, it's, you know, it's just a matter of being at the right place at the right time, you know, having a good... just a good idea, really. And that's really what it comes down to, is having a good idea and just getting behind it, kind of.
I think it's also just the right opportunity walks across.
Yes.
At the time it does, and it's you take it or you don't. Well, I was thinking about, you're talking about like having the range and playing comedic, playing drama, playing this, playing that, the other. Because what happens is every actor wants to play a serious role before long enough. You know what I mean? Like Jim Carrey was the king of comedy in the 90s. And then it's like, well, I've got to make like the Majestic and the Number 23 and stuff like that. And you know, it's like, it didn't work for a while. And then he got like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And it's like, okay, you got the credit. And he's like, okay, I can go back to doing comedies now. Now I can do Yes Man and stuff like that, you know, like, so, but it happens to every comedian. It's like Dave Chappelle was in A Star Is Born.
I loved him in that. I loved him in that.
For as briefly as he's in it, he's great.
Yeah.
Like,
I forgot about that.
He was in there.
I kind of forgot until we were having this conversation.
I mean, there's so many examples of that, like Adam Sandler with Uncut Gems, right?
Exactly.
That was his first thing. So it's like, that's the other thing too. As an actor, you got to study. You got to study these people. You got to study like what they're doing and watch the interviews of like when they're talking about like their process and what got them to that. You know, I just watched the Roundtable, the recent Hollywood. I think it was Hollywood Reporter, or the Variety, and Dwayne Johnson was talking about that same thing. And, you know, they were asking him like, "Hey, you've been this blockbuster guy," and he's answering and he's like, "Hey, yeah, I just had to get to that cliff and I just had to be willing to jump over, you know."
I think too is that his success as a blockbuster guy kind of kept having more dips in it. It's like, you know, for every Fast and the Furious umpteen he'd be in, there'd be Rampage or San Andreas or something like that that didn't work, you know. And so I think it's like, all right, he probably was feeling around for a while and was like, what else is out there? What can I try to do? You know? Yeah. But also when you get as big as like The Rock, what a lot of people do is they end up making their own production company and having their own people. Like, this is my handpicked director guy. Like Tom Cruise with the Mission Impossible movies, like he was, I think, like executive, or he was involved in some kind of higher level angle of it from the first movie. Because the show, do you know Mission Impossible is like a show, like a comedy spy caper show in the 60s?
Oh, no.
And it was all an ensemble cast thing.
Oh.
And that Tom Cruise is like, no, I'm going to be like American James Bond, and I'm going to be the guy. So it's like the first movie starts out, directed by Brian De Palma, by the way, which people forget.
Oh, he directed the first Mission?
Yeah.
Dang,
I know. And so, like, it's set up like, okay, we have this heist caper thing. You got your crew together and all that, and the whole crew dies in like the first 30 minutes of the first Mission Impossible. And then for the next several movies, it's just Tom Cruise. And they're like, actually, we need to have like Simon Pegg with you, and we got to have who's the other actor?
Philip Seymour.
Oh, well, he was the villain in one of them.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he came in. Yeah, later on in one of them. Yeah.
But it's like they built up the team again in the subsequent movies. Yeah. But it's that Tom Cruise like owns that franchise.
Exactly.
And it's his production company, and it's his same director that he's just not just friends with, but that he's like, you're my Mission Impossible guy.
Yeah.
And with Top Gun Maverick, he handpicked Joseph Kosinski to make that.
Yes.
To start that up, because that guy had made Tron Legacy, and then he ended up making F1, which is just Top Gun with cars, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's ultimately the goal, right? Like as an actor too, for me is, you know, getting to the point where I'm able to produce something or you know, assign somebody to, okay, I want you to be my director for this and that. And, you know, building up that leverage, right? To have a movement, you know, happen, you know? Oh, if this person's attached, we could get this and this and that. Cause, that's definitely something that
you start off like as a plaything of all the powers that be higher above, and they're inscrutable, and you can't even see what they're doing or who they are.
Yeah.
And the idea is to like, okay, I got to parlay any success or any momentum I have to become one of those guys.
Yes.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Is kind of the old Hollywood model, I think. You know.
Yeah.
So, but who knows how that's going to go moving forward.
I have another question for Brian.
Yeah.
So, is there a particular actor that you like admire, or that you really like how, you know, they do their acting, or like, you know, anything like that? Is there someone in particular?
Particular actor.
Or do you have a favorite actor? Or
I'll give you like a past one and like a modern one, right? Like
okay.
A modern one would be somebody like, you know, Ryan Gosling or like Bradley Cooper, like those guys, you know, Pedro Pascal, obviously. If you see my spotlight, he's killing it. Anyways,
that's right, as Pedro Pascal was getting in hot water too.
Yeah.
But I think he dodged it. I think he's okay.
Yeah. And but I think you know, especially with my teacher and my mentor, you know, he really put me on to like the Steve McQueen's and like the you know, Pacino when he was younger, like, you know, the Godfather things and all those things. And so just something about, and there's something about like 70s and 60s movies that's like
the new Hollywood stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of when it started to, you know, really move, and there's just like a different like flavor. It just feels so like different, you know?
Well, I think it's that it was a result of when those people were kids, they saw James Dean and Brando and the Stella Adler method type stuff. And so they were like the second generation of that, and that it had kind of gotten refined with like Strasberg and stuff. Yeah. And there's other things like Actors Studio coming up and all that. And so, because I forget where Pacino comes out of something like that.
Yeah, but I think he worked with Stella Adler, I believe.
Because she was around forever, like continually teaching. But Brando was always the student of hers that kind of set the mold for everything. Yeah. And of course, Brando threw acting away. He was just like, I'm not memorizing any lines. Put them on your lapel right there.
Yeah, that's when it shifted, right? That's like when the whole style and like everybody was just it became this more realism kind of thing, naturalistic kind of thing. So it's, you know, and you know, those guys, all the, like, I literally on my phone case right now, I have let me take that out. I got an email. John Garfield, right? Like John Garfield. He's one of like those classic 40s actors.
Yeah.
And, you know, they all had something, right? They all had like some kind of like it factor, a little star quality,
or like a Humphrey Bogart or something.
Bogart,
or if you go back a little further, Cagney.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. So my teacher, he would always say, "Hey, watch these guys. Like, there's a reason why. You know, they have something there." So it's like, so I did. I just studied them and I just watched all those films. And
I think it's definitely one of those things of like you always got to go back to the classics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I was talking about with like the mythical foundational storytelling literature stuff. I think if you're an actor, you got to do that too. Like,
Exactly.
okay, I'm gonna watch some like Laurence Olivier or something like that.
Yeah.
Because that's when they acted. They didn't become the character. They acted and they would jump in and out of it. You know.
Yeah.
But they still have captivating, memorable performances that like you really believe them, you really buy it. You know.
Yeah.
That's like Cagney definitely had a thing like because he was like 5'2", 5'3", but he was always like the Joe Pesci, like the tough guy, and he had enough presence to always seem taller than whoever he was in a scene with.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing is, you know, if you're an actor, you have to do your research. You have to know, like, and it's gonna help you out in the long run because once you get with the director and once you have that one-to-one with the director, you're gonna have to have these things to reference. You know, like like that one moment in Godfather, the one moment in Lawrence, and they're gonna not only have a higher respect for you, but it's like, okay, we have a similar. We're cinephiles.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like you gotta be able to have that. That's the main thing that we're all gonna bond about.
Yeah.
Is movies and films. You know, so it's like watch everything. You know, find your favorites. You know, why does this pull you? Why does this not? You know, like so
It's definitely like I don't think I've met anybody who's in this that doesn't love to watch movies. Like, there are a lot of people who didn't come from watching a lot of them, but they have since like gotten it. You know.
Yeah.
But like Tom Cruise, he watches a movie every day.
Yeah.
He watches a whole movie every day.
Yeah.
And so, well, too, I guess that has like some drawbacks too, because I was watching a clip of Orson Welles talking about like the worst thing you can do is watch too many movies.
Oh, did he say that?
Yeah. Because he was like, he's like the worst thing you can do in a movie is an homage. Because you're just being derivative. Like you're not doing. You could have done something original. You could have done something creative,
right.
But you're just recreating something you liked. And he's like, if you're marinated in film, you don't really have fresh eyes, or you don't really have like you're not going to be instinctively coming up with your own kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because for him, with like Citizen Kane, right? Like because he came from theater and radio. Like he broke all the rules and basically made the rule book of films with that one by working really closely with his DP too.
Yeah.
And that's why it's a film that still feels modern when you watch it today.
Right.
And that's why it's like the go-to film school nerd answer of like, oh, my favorite movie is Citizen Kane. You know, so you know it is an interesting thing to think of. Like when is it too much? You know.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that problem is the same with music, or maybe it is. If it's like, if I'm playing guitar, I'm like, oh wait, that was a Van Halen lick that came out. Like, and it's like he was so unique that everybody can't help but copy him to appear unique or something like that.
Yeah, and it's interesting too from an acting perspective. You know, especially in this play that I'm doing. You know, it's a big argument scene. It's a big, heated, you know, very dramatic a piece, and it's funny how. You know, because I was even talking to my C partner. I'm like, I don't really argue that much. Like, I avoid.
Wait, do you have a girlfriend?
Me, no.
Oh, well, maybe you need a spicy Latina. You know what I mean? You
well,
want to argue?
I've had my
Your share?
Yeah.
He's had enough headaches.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like it's one of those things where it's like, you know, how's my train of thought? But
you need like a cold, poisonous white girl, you know, a toxic white girl.
You know, maybe I need a different flavor. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I need like a different vibe. You know? But yeah, that's the thing about wow, where was I gonna tie that with that? I forgot.
We were talking about it's okay because you were just talking about how like big and you don't fight a lot or
you don't argue a lot.
Or you don't argue a lot.
Yes.
That's what you're talking about.
But I forgot where I was going.
So is it like I don't really have that much to draw from in life for this, or is it like?
Yeah, so it's an interesting thing because I think it was what Orson Welles said about watching a lot of things and how that can have an impact on how you deliver something, right? And for me, specifically with acting, it's kind of one of those things where. And I've said this in my spotlight too. Like I live like a simple, life, like peaceful life. So it's that ability to be able to find those things and see.
It makes sense that you don't have a girlfriend.
You're like, I like my peace.
Yes, I like my peace. It's quiet and calm. I'm a simple guy. Like I'll play video games. Or, so it's like, but yeah.
What's your favorite video game?
My favorite video game? Oh my goodness! I'm glad
you don't have to pick just one. Like, just give me like a few that just pop into your head.
Favorite video game? Definitely Fallout 4.
Fallout 4.
Like the whole Fallout series. Like and
even like Fallout 1 and 2, the point and click PC.
Okay,
ones.
I'm not that deep.
That was
that's a deep cut.
Yeah.
So, no, I've like ever since like New Vegas and stuff like that, and Fallout 3, New Vegas, all those. Freaking like Skyrim, like all those Elder Scrolls I like role playing games, RPGs.
So far that's a lot of Bethesda.
Bethesda, I'm a Bethesda.
See, I really loved Fallout 3 and 4. No, Fallout 3 and New Vegas a lot. And then I didn't connect with 4 as much, you know. Like fucking Preston Garvey like bothering me every 5 minutes. Like another settlement needs your help. Like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, I love the settlements because you get to like build and customize.
You get to do some Minecraft. So that was at a time where every game had to copy Minecraft in some kind of way too.
That's right. Yeah. But speaking on that, this is something I was thinking about the other day too. I was like, that's my ultimate dream and goal is to be. Oh, and Red Dead Redemption as well.
Oh yeah.
Is to be in a film like adaptation of like a video game, like how they're doing now with
so
Fallout, because I've noticed that's like a trend now, right? Where like they're doing Mario, they're doing like Fallout. That's like my ultimate thing. Like if I could get into like the Red Dead Redemption movie or something, like in the future, like I got a couple years to like build myself up. Like Rockstar, chill. Like give me some time.
Yeah.
All right. And
but bang is lying.
So okay, one of the guys we worked with on Two Graves, Jesus Leo, he was just in the new season of Fallout. He's one of the Brotherhood of Steel guys. Oh. So we got to get you connected with him, like get you on set next season.
Yeah.
Right?
No, dude. Yeah. That's like my ultimate, like, oh my God, I want to get into like.
And the Fallout show is so good. Like they got the vibe of it right,
The music. I mean, again, music, right? It's like
the production design and everything.
Yeah. I haven't seen they just came out with a new season, right?
The second season.
I haven't catched up to the season, but
me either. Like it's hard to watch stuff nowadays. Like not because it's good or bad. It's just like it's something.
The time you're putting
like we have the
everywhere.
excuse of the nonprofit and the kids and all this stuff, but it's like I think even for you, it's like even for young people without that stuff, it's like it's still hard to sit down. Like well, too, it's like the reflexes. The phone comes out,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I like my ads. So because when the ads, it's like okay, let me check my. Okay, now we're back.
All right, lock in. What's happening?
And I save a little bit of money. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't mind the HBO ad every.
Yeah. I was just I know you have to go. You're working today too because you're nonstop. So I know we gotta let you go soon. Mm-hmm. But I just want to ask you, King, where can people find you? All your handles, all that stuff.
Yes, you can find me at Brian_Saenz. That's BRIAN_SAENZ on Instagram. That's where you'll find all my work, everything that I'm doing that's coming up. That's where you'll find links to the tickets to my latest show. It's a 10-minute.
Camera 1, camera 2.
Camera 1, camera 2.
Camera 3.
Some of my best work in this thing, and I've had the privilege of working with a great director, a great team, and so make sure to check that out.
So you better have some tickets for us.
I do. And I do have comp tickets. Hit me up, DM me if you want to come by. I definitely have some tickets. They give us some comp tickets.
Nice.
And, but yeah, that's where you can find me.
I will let you go then, brother. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Brian. I know you're
Almost done.
Yeah.
Wow, baby. Cool.